On behalf of His Majesty's Government and the United Kingdom, I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States. For centuries, the relationship between our two nations has been one of collaboration, cooperation, and enduring partnership. It is a uniquely close bond. Together, we have defended the world from tyranny and worked towards our mutual security and prosperity. With President Trump's long-standing affection and historical ties to the United Kingdom.
Whether you like it or not, Donald Trump never holds back. This time, he set his sights on Keir Starmer during a live TV appearance, igniting a whirlwind of discussion. Brace yourself for a direct hit that resonated deeply with the audience. In this video, we'll take an in-depth look at the most shocking moment, the reactions it sparked, and what it could signify for both Trump and Starmer moving forward. Don't miss out. After being insulted and barred from attending President Trump's inauguration, Keir Starmer appointed Peter Mandelson as the British ambassador to the United States, a man who openly criticized and belittled Trump without hesitation.
I know that depth of friendship will continue. The United Kingdom and the United States will work together to ensure the success of both our countries and deliver for people on both sides of the Atlantic. Since our first meeting in September, the President and I have spoken about the need to deepen and invest in the transatlantic relationship. We will continue to build upon the unshakable foundations of our historic alliance as we tackle together the global challenges we face and take our partnership to the next level, focused on shared opportunities ahead for growth. I look forward to our next meeting as we continue our shared mission to ensure the peace, prosperity, and security of our two great nations. The special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States will continue to flourish for many years to come.
Dissatisfaction with Starmer is on the rise, with many viewing him as a burden to the nation. In contrast, Trump's assertive leadership is seen as a breath of fresh air, leading to calls for similar decisiveness in the UK. The inauguration of Donald Trump underscored the growing discontent with the current UK leadership and the demand for more proactive measures. Keir Starmer had hoped that the new year would bring some positivity and a chance to revitalize the government, but he is confronted with both internal challenges and external pressures. This is the top story this morning. He is set to make a significant announcement regarding the National Health Service, his shift in direction, and his priorities. However, he faces much more serious issues, as he is under fire from both Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Trump argues that increasing the tax on windfall profits from oil and gas production in the North Sea is a grave error, essentially labeling Starmer as foolish for not prioritizing hydraulic fracturing and affordable energy for the country. Elon Musk has also entered the fray, adding to the tension. It appears that every move Starmer makes is met with criticism. Nevertheless, it's important to remember that he is a lawyer, and lawyers are accustomed to facing attacks.
Well, that's why I wonder whether, when the Downing Street said it was a 45-minute call, I'm not sure that it actually was. I mean, I don't really care how long the call was for, but from what I read last night, as you say, the readout, Prime Minister paid tribute to President Trump's role in securing the landmark ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza. President welcomed the release of Emily Damarai and sent his best wishes to the family. They discussed the importance of working together for security in the Middle East. They also discussed trade and the economy. Prime Minister setting out how we are deregulating to boost growth. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it doesn't sound like a 45-minute call to me. I mean, I'm 45-minute calls with my sister. We get into a lot more than that. I'll tell you what, you know, we've even covered the Oscars.
Many rallied behind Braverman's stance, labeling Starmer's actions as a significant blunder that jeopardized Britain's relationship with the United States. Critics accused the Labour Party of disrespecting the US and attempting to amend the fallout from their decisions. Supporters of Braverman praised her common sense, with some even encouraging her to join reform. A widespread dissatisfaction with the current leadership emerged, with many yearning for someone to prioritize Britain's interests and exhibit strength, much like Trump. The public largely viewed Starmer's approach as detrimental to Britain's international reputation, and Braverman garnered considerable support for advocating more decisive political measures. Critics have been vocal in condemning Starmer's leadership, with some calling for his resignation over perceived ineffectiveness. His lack of action on issues like the grooming gang investigation has drawn sharp comparisons to Trump, who is remembered by many for his assertive stance on immigration and law enforcement.
Listen, my advice to Keir Starmer is to stop being an idiot because, listen, Keir Starmer and half of the cabinet voted against President Trump's state visit last time round. We've got so many of members of the cabinet, David Lammy notably, having carried out vitriolic and ridiculous personal attacks on Donald Trump. They're all now desperately trying to backtrack and they're all desperately trying to suck up to President Trump. You know, at best, they're going to be irrelevant. But at worst, they have done great harm to the UK's national interest. So they've got to grow up, stop playing petty student politics, and actually stand up for the UK, get a free trade agreement, work on ensuring our military and security agreements are robust, and learn the lessons of how Donald Trump is securing their border for a start.
Starmer's facing a relentless wave of criticism from Donald Trump and Elon Musk, intensifying the already turbulent political climate. Trump spared no effort in denouncing Starmer's energy policy, labeling the increase in taxes on windfall profits from oil and gas production in the North Sea as a disastrous error. He urged the UK to adopt hydraulic fracturing and lower energy costs, suggesting that this was the only path to recovery. Musk also joined the fray, targeting Starmer and highlighting his failure to address the issue of grooming gangs, which has sparked outrage among the British public. This criticism resonates with many who feel that Starmer's policies, including his push for zero interest rates and higher taxes on energy, are only worsening the country's economic challenges.
It's really interesting. I'd love to know who writes these readouts, because there's a real skill to them to as you say, to take a 45-minute call, you know, if it was that, and turn it into this kind of 3 paragraphs that really don't say a great deal. You know, and I think I remember speaking to people who worked for Theresa May and her administration, and the calls that she would have with Donald Trump in his first time as president, and they would go on wild flights of fancy. Donald Trump would talk about all sorts. Theresa May would always be trying to drag him back to the talking points, and never could. And actually, the truth of those calls was often much more interesting and much wilder than those very banal readouts. So I think we'll probably get some more reporting. I imagine there'll be a bit more reporting on this call today, and we'll find out actually what made up those full 45.
Former Interior Minister Suella Braverman couldn't hold back her anger and delivered a scathing critique of the Labour leader. She accused Starmer of jeopardizing Britain's relationship with the United States, particularly with the rise of President Donald Trump. Braverman labelled Starmer's actions as foolish, recalling his previous disdain for Trump and noting that he, like many members of the cabinet, had voted against Trump's state visit. She also pointed out the severe public criticism from figures like David Lammy, who did not hesitate to launch personal attacks on the former US president. Braverman expressed her profound disappointment that the leadership of the Labour Party is now attempting to shift its stance and curry favour with Trump.
As leader of His Majesty's opposition, I will be taking a different approach to the last opposition by being a constructive opposition. And so I would like to start by congratulating President-elect Trump on his impressive victory this morning. The Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary met him in September. Did the Foreign Secretary take that opportunity to apologise for making derogatory and scatological references, including, and I quote, "Trump is not only a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathising sociopath, he is also a profound threat to the international order"? And if he did not apologise, will the Prime Minister do so now on his behalf?
The Foreign Secretary and I did meet President-elect Trump just a few weeks ago for dinner for about a couple of hours, and we discussed a number of issues of global significance. It was a very constructive exercise.
The public is openly voicing its dissatisfaction, calling for affordable energy solutions instead of costly environmental initiatives that only worsen the situation. Once again, concerns are being raised that the government will not permit a public investigation, and Musk has weighed in on the issue. He asserted that Starmer has failed to hold the gangs accountable. It was a striking statement. He should resign and face trial for his involvement in some of the most horrific mass crimes in British history. That's a bold and drastic claim, isn't it? It suggests they have a clear plan of action. Starmer has been in office for 6 months now, and during this time, we have seen numerous failures. His promises regarding the elderly now ring hollow, and he appears unwilling to address anything that could improve their circumstances. This has led to profound disappointment and frustration among citizens who are yearning for change and genuine action. See you soon.